I was already sitting in the car when I realized I had left something behind. At first, I thought it was my passport. Then I checked my bag. It was there. My wallet, there too. My phone, in my hand. I couldn't explain it, but something inside me kept telling me not to leave. The airport was only a few minutes away, and my flight was leaving in less than an hour. I was already late. I told myself I was being stupid. Then my phone rang, and that one call changed everything. That morning, I was supposed to travel for the most important meeting of my life. If everything went well, I would finally get the job I had been working toward for years. I had prepared for it for weeks. My documents were ready. My clothes were packed. My ticket was on my phone. Everything was fine. Or at least, I thought it was.
Welcome to Chigo's Prime, where every story stays with you. This is more than a YouTube channel. It's a home for unforgettable stories. Every story is carefully crafted to inspire, surprise, and leave a lasting impression. So, take a seat, open your heart, and let's begin.
As I drove toward the airport, I noticed something strange. The traffic was barely moving. Cars were stuck everywhere. I checked the time. I had less than 40 minutes before boarding closed. Come on, I whispered. I started getting nervous. I called the airline, but the line kept ringing. I tried another route. It was worse. Then I saw a small opening in the traffic and I quickly turned into another road. For a few minutes, everything seemed fine until my car suddenly stopped. I tried starting it again. Nothing. I tried again. Still nothing. Not today, I said. I got out, opened the hood, and stared at the engine even though I had absolutely no idea what I was looking at. I called the mechanic. He told me he would need at least 30 minutes. 30 minutes? My flight was practically gone. I called a ride. No drivers were available. I checked the time again. There was no way I was making that flight. I was furious. I kicked the tire and sat on the roadside. I remember thinking, why now? I had done everything right. I had planned everything. And somehow, the one thing I couldn't control had ruined it. Then my phone rang. It was my younger sister. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Her voice sounded strange. Where are you? On my way to the airport. Why? There was silence. Then she said, please don't get on that plane. I laughed because I thought she was joking. What are you talking about? I'm serious. Why? She hesitated. I had a strange feeling this morning. I sighed. I don't have time for this. I'm already late. Please, she said, just listening to me. Before I could answer, the call dropped. I stared at my phone. For some reason, her words bothered me. Not because I believed in strange feelings, but because she had never sounded like that before. I called her back. No answer. Again, nothing. I sat there for another few minutes. Then I heard a loud sound from somewhere nearby. People began looking toward the sky. I didn't know what was happening. Then my phone started vibrating. One notification, then another, then another. I opened the first one. It was a news alert. My heart stopped. The flight I was supposed to take had crashed. I read it again and again. Same flight number, same departure time, same destination. My hands started shaking. No, I couldn't breathe properly. I called my sister. This time, she answered immediately. Are you okay? I couldn't speak. Are you there? I I missed the flight. She started crying. Thank God. I sat there in silence. People were walking past me completely unaware that my entire life had just changed. A few minutes earlier, I had been angry because my car broke down. Now, I was sitting on the roadside, realizing that the thing I had considered the worst moment of my life might have actually saved it. But that wasn't the strange part, because later that afternoon, something happened that made me question everything. I went home. I couldn't stop thinking about the passengers. I kept checking the news. Then I received an email from the company I was supposed to meet. I expected them to ask me why I hadn't arrived. Instead, the message said, "We are deeply sorry. Due to the circumstances surrounding today's incident, the interview has been postponed." I stared at the screen. Then I noticed something else. There was an attachment. I opened it. It was the passenger manifest. My name was on it, but there was something wrong. My seat number was not the seat I had booked. I checked my original ticket, seat 18A. The manifest showed me in 18A. Everything matched, except for one thing. Someone had checked in using my name before I ever arrived at the airport. I froze. Someone had already checked in as me. I immediately called the airline. They transferred me 3 times before someone finally answered. I explained everything. The woman on the phone became quiet. Then she asked me a question that made my stomach drop. "Sir, do you give anyone access to your booking?" "No." "Are you absolutely sure?" "Yes." She paused. "Because someone attempted to change your reservation early this morning." "Who?" "We don't know." I felt cold. "Did they succeed?" "No." The change was rejected. "Why?" She said the system had flagged it because the request came from a different device. I sat down. Suddenly, my broken car didn't feel like an accident anymore. I started wondering whether someone had actually tried to put me on another flight. But why and who? I spent the next few days trying to find answers. The police investigated the crash. The airline investigated the booking. I checked my account. Nothing. No suspicious transactions. No strange messages. Nothing. Then, 3 days later, I received a message from an unknown number. It said, "You were never supposed to be on that flight." I stared at it. My heart started racing. I replied, "Who is this?" No answer. I called. The number was switched off. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, another message came. This time, there was a photograph attached. It was a picture of me standing outside my house, taken 2 days before the crash. I felt my entire body go numb. Someone had been watching me. I immediately went to the police. They took the phone and started investigating the number. Hours passed. Then they found something. The number had been connected to a person who had recently worked for the company I was supposed to meet. I couldn't understand it. Why would someone connected to my job be watching me? Then the police told me something even more shocking. The person had disappeared the day before the crash. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. A week later, I finally met the company executives. The man who interviewed me looked at me for a long time before speaking. "I need to tell you something." I nodded. He slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents showing that the company had been investigating financial fraud. Millions of dollars had been stolen, and someone had been using employees' identities to move the money. My name was one of the identities involved. I stared at the papers. "I don't understand." He looked at me. "You were supposed to be questioned about this." "Questioned?" "Yes." "Then why was I invited here?" He took a breath. "Because the person responsible wanted you out of the way before you could discover the truth." I couldn't speak. Everything suddenly makes sense. The strange booking attempt, the photograph, the messages, the person who disappeared, even the meeting. Someone had planned to use my identity and then make sure I couldn't expose them. But there was one thing they hadn't planned for: my car. My stupid car that refused to start. The breakdown that had made me miss my flight. The inconvenience I had caused that morning. It had saved my life. Months later, the investigation continued. Eventually, the people responsible were arrested. I never found out exactly how far their plan had gone, and honestly, part of me doesn't want to know. But I still think about that morning. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if my car hadn't started. What if the traffic had been clear? What if I had reached the airport on time? What if I had ignored my sister's calls? I don't know, and maybe I will never know. But one thing changed inside me after that day. I stopped believing that every delay was a disaster. Sometimes the thing you think is ruining your life is actually protecting you from something you can't see. That morning, I thought I had lost an opportunity. I thought I had been unlucky. I thought my car had betrayed me. I was wrong. I didn't miss my flight. I was given another chance to leave. And sometimes I still look back and wonder, what if I had arrived at the airport few minutes earlier? I don't think I will be here telling you this story. The end.